Well, hello everybody. Thanks for watching. Today's topic, unfortunately, a sad one. We're talking about the passing of Vin Scully. Now, often in social media, we talk about our Dodgers fam, Rams fam, so on, like that. But this time, with the death of Vin Scully, it really did feel like a death in the family. I don't think any fan base in sports feels quite the same way as the Dodgers fan base. You just don't revere the announcers that much for that long. Maybe the closest somebody might come would be like somebody that grew up with Harry Carey and the Cubs, and then him passing away. That might be the closest to a fan base I could think of, or Chick Hearn when he passed away in the Lakers. But even then, the Dodgers, it was something special because Vinny went well beyond the sport. Vinny came into our lives. Like many of you, I had the same experiences growing up. I grew up in the transistor radio age, and so I know what it is to go to sleep with the transistor radio, listening to Vin Scully tell me about the game as I went to sleep. And I also know about taking the transistor radio to the Dodger game to listen to Vinny. It was a must-have. Who was that guy in the stands that had a radio listening to Vin Scully? Me. I was that guy amongst thousands. And it's crazy because I got the game right in front of me, but man, it just doesn't feel like baseball if Vinny's not describing it to you, even though you could see it. Very quickly, I heard Roy Firestone. Some of you may remember. He used to have the old sports interview show on TV. Roy Firestone told the story of interviewing Ray Charles. And Ray Charles said the only person that he really wants to meet that he hasn't met yet, Vin Scully. And why? Because Vin Scully made it so that Ray Charles could see the game. That's how good Vinny was. And as I say, the guy just transformed beyond baseball. Chick Hearn, sure, great, but he didn't do football. He didn't do golf. Just everybody wanted Vinny. And we had him. And I'm glad to say that I had him all my life and passed him on to my sons. When we went camping, when we went on long road trips, when we were out there either driving or out there by the fire at camping or cooking dinner, we had the ball game on and Vinny telling us all about it. So my sons even grew up listening to Vinny. It really was a generational thing. Now, the very last thing that I want to mention is I want to show off very quickly. This isn't last, second to last. I'll close with my own Vin Scully story. But my Vin Scully collectibles. A lot of you have bobbleheads and whatnot. I'm going to show you my most precious Vin Scully collectibles. I'm going to get my reading glasses on here, and I'm going to tell you, these are custom cards that came from my friend Gavin over at Baseball Card Breakdown. He makes custom cards. He made these and he gifted these to me. Look at young Vinny, Scully, Brooklyn. How awesome is that? Look at the young redhead right as he took over for Red Barber. And then he takes it up a notch. Old Gav, check this out. He also made a custom, like it's beat up and well loved. Chewy corners, It's got the bends, the bend wrinkles in the cardboard. I mean, it looks authentically like it's been around for 50 years or 60 years. How beautiful is that card, right? I love it. And then finally, the third custom that I got from Gavin, this wonderful Vin Scully custom as well. And here's the back. Vin Scully, broadcaster. Awesome. He's even got that, look at, he's got that upper deck authentication little silver thing in there, or at least mock, right? A mock authentication. But here's the only thing I want to bring up with Gavin. He writes in the commentary here. He writes, perhaps the greatest broadcaster of all time. Perhaps. That's the only bone I want to pick with your customs. Gavin, they're beautiful. But come on, man. What do you mean, perhaps? Vin Scully was the greatest broadcaster of all time. And always will be. Now I'm going to close out real quick. Last thing. With my own personal Vin Scully story. I've been to Dodger games a million times growing up. I've been to a million games. And I only briefly saw Vinny once in the bowels of Dodger Stadium, passing, not really the bowels, but passing from his press box, the Vin Scully press box, walking after the game from the press box out to the elevator to leave after the game. I saw him on a quick glance like that. And me and 100 other people saw him, and the ushers were holding everybody back. So there was no meet and greet. That wasn't going to happen. And that was the closest I ever came to Vinny at Dodger Stadium. The only other time I came close to Vinny in person was UCLA. They were having like a talk series. And they had an evening with Tommy Lasorda and Sparky Anderson. And it was going to be kind of like a talk and a Q&A with the audience. I went. Absolutely. I wasn't going to miss that. Tommy and Sparky, right? The two classic managers also that I grew up with in the 70s. And though Vin Scully was there, he was the moderator for the night. So that was a little bit of seeing Vinny out of the Dodgers context. But this is my baseball stories. I never really saw Vinny in person, right, to give you a good Vinny meeting story. But here's my good Vinny story anyway, and unique to me. Now, I was at the ball game when Mike Piazza hit a home run completely out of Dodger Stadium. How many times has it been done? I think like 3 times in the history of Dodger Stadium. And I was there when a Dodger did it, and I was there when Mike Piazza did it. And I was in great seats to see it as well. Reserve level on the third base side. Man, it would have been perfect to see Mike hit it to the Three Sisters. Well, what happened? Had my son Joseph there. I've told the story before. 1 or 2 of you may have heard it. I took my young son Joseph, who was, just like an infant at the time, had him at the game. Joseph had to have his diaper changed. I took him to the men's room to change him, and I had Joseph on the diaper table, changing table in the men's bathroom. When Mike Piazza hits a home run out of Dodger Stadium, I'm in the bathroom. What was the only saving grace? Vin Scully on the speakers in the bathroom calling the game for me so I could see it. So thanks, Vinny, for being there so that one of the biggest moments in Dodger Stadium, and I was there, but my story revolves around I saw it through Vin Scully's eyes. Thanks, Vinny. We're going to miss you. Thanks for watching, everybody. See you next time. Peace.